Y'all, by far, my favorite time of year is fall. Obviously, college football is in full swing. But honestly, one of my favorite things is watching playoff baseball. The famous Yogi Berra, he once said, you can't hit what you can't see. Just like in baseball, where we got to pick the right leadoff hitter, have the right batting order, right? Deciding where to pull funds from in retirement can kind of be like that. It's not just, about the first step. It's about laying that entire groundwork for long-term success. I'm Terence Brown here, Live More, Leave Your Mark, Total Retirement Game Plan channel. We're going to discuss which accounts to potentially tap into first and how to create a strategy that's going to work best in your favor. The first spot to look potentially in retirement is to look at your taxable brokerage accounts, right? When you're looking at building retirement income, this may be a good first place to start. These are the least tax efficient accounts that we generally have because we're paying taxes, capital gains, dividends, interest every year along the way. So by potentially tapping into these first, we allow our other tax advantaged accounts, IRAs, and Roth IRAs to potentially keep growing tax deferred. Kind of think of it getting rid of the weak ones first. Your taxable brokerage accounts, they're not going to grow as quickly because they have that tax drag every year on any interest, capital gains, dividends, etc. So it may make sense to use these early on in retirement to allow the other accounts time to build up in value. Your middle of the lineup type strategy may come from your traditional IRAs and your 401ks. Once you've tapped into those taxable accounts, you can start pulling from these tax deferred accounts. Obviously, anything you pull from a tax deferred account is going to be fully taxable. It's going to be ordinary income to you. And keep in mind, when you turn 73, the IRS are going to require that you start pulling from these accounts. Making sure we understand required minimum distributions is like understanding rules of the game. We've got to know what they are. And if we break the rules, guess what? There's a penalty, there's some type of enforcement that could potentially hurt us going forward. You can delay these for a while, but at 73 or 75, if you were born after 1960, those are mandatory withdrawals and those are going to start kicking in. Your cleanup hitter, your home run hitter, the one that's going to drive in all the RBIs that you potentially may want to save as long as you can, is going to be those Roth IRAs, right? Those are tax-free to you. So unlike your traditional IRAs and your 401ks, you don't have to take RMDs from the Roth. And it means you can let that money sit there and continue to grow tax-free for as long as you need it to. It's really great. You can use the money tax-free in retirement. It can pass to your beneficiaries tax-free in retirement. The more we can get in a Roth IRA, the more impact it's going to have on our financial future. It's like having somebody in the lineup that's never going to slow down no matter how long. So leaving those untouched as long as we can is a potential strategy to think about so that those gains can compound over time. Now, a little caveat, right? It's not always as easy as just 1, 2, 3. It's not always going to be really straightforward. If you let those traditional IRAs and 401ks grow, you may face a higher tax burden down the line. Every dollar that's in those traditional accounts is going to count as taxable income, which could push you into higher tax brackets down the road. And if we leave these untouched until required minimum distribution age, that could dramatically increase your tax bill. Let's just imagine you got a $2 million IRA. Your RMD is going to be roughly about $80,000. Before adding in Social Security and any pension income, that's already putting you up into the 22% bracket in today's current tax brackets. So it's really important to understand having a strategy to look at that and potentially reduce that tax burden as we get closer to RMDs. Now, here's a potential game-changing strategy. Have you ever heard of an incremental Roth conversion? This is doing partial Roth conversions, taking parts of a traditional IRA, putting it into a Roth IRA. If you do this in the early years in retirement, you could potentially spread out that tax burden even further over time rather than waiting till required minimum distribution age. The other consideration is, are taxes going to go up or down in the future? Being proactive and putting together a strategy today to potentially pay those taxes while we're in lower brackets could also make a huge impact on the future. Let's just say today you're in a lower tax bracket, right? You could fill up that bracket with Roth conversions. For example, a 12% bracket ends at right around $90,000 today if you're married filing jointly. So if you have room, let's say your income is $40,000 or $50,000, you could convert 40-ish thousand into the Roth. You could fill up the current bracket that you're in. That's part of a total retirement game plan process, evaluating that on a year by year basis to see how we could impact your future and give you more tax-free income. And the last thing is you're probably wondering, well, where does Social Security fit into all of this, right? It really depends, right? There's not a one-size-fits-all strategy. Determining when you're going to draw Social Security to boost the income that you've got, whether you're going to draw that earlier or later in retirement, a lot of factors are going to go into that. Your health, how long you plan on working, right? Because if you draw Social Security and you're still working, it could cause a reduction of your benefit. And then understanding how the Social Security is going to be taxed as well. Managing your funds and where you're going to pull from in retirement is like managing a lineup or a strategy and what order people are going to hit in, right? Taxable accounts may go up first, then strategically pulling from IRAs, right? Leaving your Roths last to kind of clean things up. But again, considering with your traditional IRAs, the right incremental strategy for doing some conversions. The more you have in your deferred IRAs and 401ks, the more taxes you'll pay throughout retirement. The more you have in your Roth IRAs, the less you're going to pay taxes in retirement. That can help you potentially minimize your tax burden throughout those retirement years. Thanks for watching our Total Retirement Game Plan channel. If you need help organizing a retirement withdrawal strategy that takes into consideration how taxes are going to look as well, reach out to our team. We'll make sure we got you in good financial shape. See you next time. Enjoy.